Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and I rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson real quick, dealing with this here article as we see, hey, the end of Babylon is here, man. All right, because with these certain mandates and things that we have going on right now, a lot of the people aren't with those things, all right, and which is causing a lot of these people, well, they have an ultimatum, all right, which we'll get into in this here article, but nevertheless, they have an ultimatum, and a lot of these people are standing on their beliefs, all right, which, you already have a crippled economy and things like that that's going on, all right, a lot of businesses that have been shut down with the lockdowns that weren't able to sustain the overhead and things like that. All right. And now we're coming to a point, like I said, with these mandates, which is pretty much, giving people the choice to, hey, you want to get paid or you want to, take an unpaid leave. All right. In which we, people have to eat. All right. When in these times when people get into these desperate moves, you're going to start seeing a whole lot of chaos. All right. And this is already the beginning of these things. All right. Right now, things are a little bit peaceful, but hey, they're, how do I say, they're standing their ground on their so-called beliefs in the face of the governments, which we know how this is all going to wind up ending up. All right. According to the scriptures. All right. So it says, city employees in New York marched across the Brooklyn Bridge. Staff saw traffic and protest, all right, against these mandates. It says thousands of New York City police, firefighter, and other city employees took to the streets to protest against Mayor Bill de Blasio's mandates, marching across the Brooklyn Bridge and blocking off traffic. Footage of the protest posted Monday on social media shows long streams of workers marching across the bridge from Brooklyn to Manhattan, shutting down traffic. The clips show the demonstrators chanting as they walked with such messages as F. Bill de Blasio, hold the line, no mandates, wake up New York. Many of the protesters held American flags, including one so large that it stretched across almost the entire width of the bridge and took about a dozen people to carry it. Other chants included, we the people will not comply, F. Joe Biden, let's go Brandon. It says the demonstration reportedly began in New York Fire Department headquarters in Brooklyn and ended at City Hall in Manhattan. It was billed as an anti-mandate protest for estimated 50,000 New York City employees who haven't yet participated in it. All right. So, hey, man, in a big major city like that, they, to give you an understanding, you have a really, really big building. You're going to need a really strong foundation to keep that building afloat. All right. And so what you're starting to see what is happening, not just here, but in other places as well. All right. Just take a look at the economy. All right. The foundation is being etched away. So what do you think is going to happen to that building that's up on top? All right. And which is going into, how do I say, the infrastructure of the workings of how these things work, not necessarily actual buildings, but, hey, like, what is going to happen if all these police officers wind up, walking off the jobs, which we see it happening in a lot of places, whole police departments are pretty much all walking off the jobs, these doctors and so on and so forth. I seen a commercial, was it today or yesterday or something like that, where they're basically having a big seminar type thing. Well, not really a seminar, a big meeting, open invitation or open interview for doctors and things like that, and I believe it's going to be in Tampa, but they're basically going to, they saying they're offering, right on the spot negotiations for pay and things like that, and it's not just for that single area, but in the surrounding areas. All right, and they're doing this for what? To replace the, the pieces of the foundation, so to say, that has been weathered away. All right. But nevertheless, hey, man, if you have these people that are already, you already have these people that are walking off the damn job. Right now, you trying to, you got all these so-called open positions. All right. To fill. Who do you think is going to be filling these positions, man? All right. If they was already qualified for these damn jobs to, have the proper paperwork to get these jobs and the qualifications, they would have already had these jobs. They would have applied for the jobs. They would have already been working. So who do you think is going to be filling these positions? People who are in a scenario where it's like, shit, I'll take the job if I can get paid for it or whatever. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're the most experienced in these positions. All right. Hey, I heard somebody jokingly say about this one day with all these police officers that were quitting. They're going to just start giving any and everybody badges real soon, man. All right, your local dope boys and gangsters and shit like that going to wind up being these police officers because, hey, they hiring and they just willing to put anybody in the damn squad car, man. All right, but nevertheless, man, ultimately, we understand that according to prophecy, all right, that Babylon is, the grinding is starting to cease. All right, these things are starting to slow down. All right, because why? It's all being orchestrated by Esau. All right, to bring in his new world order agenda. All right, but like the scriptures say, when he's about to fill his belly, then he's going to flee from the iron weapon. All right, continuing on, it says another clip showed workers gathering on the Brooklyn side of the landmark bridge, blocking streets in the area. They carried signs with messages such as coercion is not consent. Workers are essential, mandates are not. And danger, you are being conditioned to view your freedoms as selfish. The march came one day after the anti-mandate demonstrators breached security barriers outside the Barclays Center arena and stormed the entrance before the Brooklyn Nets NBA game. The team has suspended star player Kyrie Irving for refusing to comply with the city's requirements for all people entering major indoor venues such as sports and arenas. So like I said, this is like, you're withering away at the foundations of this really tall building. All right, so hey man, these things, and to further break that down a little bit, you need all these things to be functioning, all right, to sustain your city. You have like a GDP of a country and things like that. They need a lot of certain things to move for them to be able to create money and products. You have to have people producing things, like let's say in a factory or something like that, for them to be able to sell. All right, they got to have good trade relationships with these other people. All right, and ways to trade these things. All right, just like hell, here in Florida is pretty much a tourist state. All right, so if this was a lot of this economy that's here, that turns the economy is a lot of these tourists that come down. We have a term that they call snowbirds. All right, so like in like a time like right about now where it's cold around the rest of the, getting cold around the rest of the states and things like that. A lot of people, they'll come down south to Florida. All right, and they'll basically, they'll wind up living here for a couple months. All right, so there's plenty of people like that. A lot of the houses that you see here, they're not so-called occupied, the full 12 months out the year. All right, we have also a hurricane season. All right, and so a lot of the people that live here, they'll wind up leaving here, all right, during hurricane season, and then vice versa. Like I said, in the wintertime, a lot of people, they'll come down here to their Florida homes and things like that, Now, when these people come down here, all right, what do they wind up doing? They wind up eating at these restaurants, all right? They start, going to the malls, the venues, all these different things like that, which is going to drive up revenue and things for a lot of these businesses, all right? So, in that sense, you need these tourists to come into Florida to spend their money to keep things afloat. Just like when you go up to like where Disney World is, all right, there's a lot of these little tourist stores and things like that the locals don't really mess with those places like that. They may work in there, but hey, they get their money based off of the tourists coming in and going to Disney World. All right, but nevertheless, like I said, if you have these things shut down, you're not attracting the tourists to come in, which the tourist is turning your whole economy. All right, that means your economy is going to be pretty much left out there to die, man. All right, and this is what you have going on. So if you don't have these people that's going to work, all right, or walking off these jobs, all right, you're going to have less people spending money, all right, because, there's a lot of things, people going out to eat and things like that, going to the movies and stuff like that. If they're not going to work in these places like that, or you can't go into these establishments like that, man, these establishments aren't going to be able to pay their bills, all right, which in turn, they're going to wind up having to lay some people off that already are participating because they can't afford to stay open, man. All right, that's one of the big major issues right now where a lot of these businesses can't even afford to stay open because they don't have that kind of traffic coming back in no more, man. All right, but nevertheless, it says de Blasio said last week that all city employees who have not received at least their first portion of this by November 1st will no longer be paid. It is time now, the mayor said. If you don't want to participate, you'll be put on unpaid leave. He added that many first responders considered their work a calling, and the vast majority of human beings go to work to get paid, so he expects the mandate to persuade a vast majority of municipal employees to participate. All right, basically, they forcing you to do this, all right? But then again, they saying, well, we're not necessarily forcing you, all right? Hey, if you want to get paid, you got to pay, you got to play ball with them, all right? Mayoral candidate Curtis Silva reportedly attended Monday's protest. He told the city ABC News affiliate that the draconian mandate will harm all New Yorkers. We already don't have enough cops. All right. And what do you think is going to happen if they don't have enough cops and things like that, man? All right. And you have a lot of people that's out of work. crime is going to start spiking. And then what's going to happen? You think you're going to be able to call the police? They're not going to, like, we too far stretched thin. All right. Then what do you think is going to happen to those other businesses, like those high-end businesses? Like this was going on not too long ago up in New York, where, you know, they got a lot of outdoor dining and, you know, these like, how do I say, these expensive stores and things like that to go to. All right. But you have these people that's eating at these fine dining restaurants outside. A lot of the so-called jack boys was just rolling up on them and snatching their shit, man. All right. And also going up and, you know, they had one person that was saying like they was just waiting on, you know, the next Rolls Royce to just pull up and just go, you know, pull up on them, you know. So, hey, you know, what do you think these stores and these establishments going to do if they can't protect their customers? Because, you know, they already understand how the streets is going to react to those things. Like, shit, if we can't get a paycheck from the job, you know, this is what creates criminals and things like that, a lack of resources. But if we can't go get a job, we got to go out here and get it from the streets. And I got a business out here that's in this high, you know, catering to these people with a little bit of money and stuff like that. But these people don't feel safe coming to my establishment because all this crime is upticking because of a lack of police. They're going to stop shopping with me, meaning I got less revenue coming in to pay my bills, to pay my employees. I'm going to just have to wind up shutting down. All right. It says we don't have enough correction officers. We don't have enough healthcare workers. We don't have enough teachers, he said. Stop this nonsense and the mandates. Hey, so, hey, what do you think is going to wind up happening if they don't have enough teachers inside the classrooms? You know, they had a time, you know, not that far back where, you know, it was like the classes are overpacked. The teachers can't fully teach and give a student the proper time that they need to learn about certain things. But just imagine if you don't have enough teachers to cover, you know, a full calendar of a class, you know, a certain class or whatever. You know, every day you go into the classroom, you got a different substitute teacher, man. We all know what it was like having a substitute teacher. They don't have a real game plan. It's always a movie day or something like that because they're going to only be there for a day or 2 days. And then there's no point in them trying to implement something long term if they're only going to be there for the weekend. So if you constantly got these, you know, substitutes coming in and out, man, that's, hey, you know, the whole education system, which is not even intact really, but nevertheless, is going to be way worse than it is. All right, let's jump to some scriptures real quick. 2 Ezra 9:1, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou see partest the signs past, which I told thee before. All right, and let me grab something real quick. Habakkuk 2:3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And so these visions, all right, you can see it here on the screen. All right, these visions are pretty much speaking right now, man. All right, you know, you can see as you know, from 16 on down, you know, what's pretty much taking place right about now, man. All right, hey, we also got the famine of the word, so we got to watch how we, you know, speak, because I'm about to get all 3 of my channels taking over this here subject. But hey, you know, it's not spreading no misinformation or nothing like this, but hey, it's just speaking loud and clear, man. All right, the famine of the word. All right, they're implementing certain things like what we can see here on the screen. All right, the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. We see it speaking right now. So in 2 Ezra, how it's saying, measure the time diligently in itself. It should let you know exactly what time we're in. All right. 2 Ezra 9:1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I told thee before, then thou shalt understand it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. All right, and this is one of the major signs. You seeing these people going, taking to the streets over for their, you know, their so-called rights. All right, you know, and really it's their livelihood, because these people understand what's going on. It's like, yo, man, how y'all gonna try to force me to do something in order for me to feed my family, man? All right, I got a right to basically survive out here, man, and you messing with my survival out here, man. All right, but nevertheless, you know, this is, you know, what's got a lot of these people in uproars, not just here in New York. All right, not just here in America, all right, but all across the whole globe, man. You have a lot of these different people that are doing these protests over the same thing because, you know, they feel like it's an unfair treatment and everything else like that. You know, this is supposed to be a quote-unquote democracy where you're supposed to vote for certain things, but who really voted for these things like that, man? All right, if the majority of the people really wanted these things, you wouldn't have all these people out here protesting like this, man. All right, because you have basically what they would call like a mob mentality rule type of thing. So if everybody was really with this shit, but one person wasn't with the shit, they'd be like, bruh, stop being stupid. Like, you know, it would just be that they would just silence them out. But what side is the side that's out here that's crying louder than the other side? It's the side that don't want to participate with these things, man. All right, you don't have these people that's participating out here protesting that everybody else should participate, man. All right, but nevertheless, this is what has all these people in uproars right about now, man. All right. Verse 4 says, "Then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." And hey, we just read about how the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right, we I showed on the screen the vision that this is leading up to. All right, these people aren't able to go into these establishments or anything else like that without participating. All right, these are the laws that they're pressing. All right, speaking as a damn dragon. All right, but nevertheless, hey man, we are here, man. All right, the Lord was speaking the whole time through his prophets. All right, and warning the people of these times that was coming, man. All right, this is why it was important to be building up your faith and getting close to the Lord this whole time, man. Because hey, we're coming into a time like never before since there was a nation on the face of the earth all the way up until now, man. Things are about to get real ugly out here, man. All right. Verse 5, "For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." All right. "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings and effects and signs." So, hey, man, the end is manifest. We see what's going on right now, man. All right. Like I said, this is that foundation being etched away, man. Sooner or later, once the wind blows, that building is going to crumble, man. It's not going to be able to support itself no more. All right. This whole thing is coming down, to an end. All right. Let me grab this as well. Oh. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." All right, and so ultimately, we'll touch down on it a little further down, but ultimately this is what the buildup is about to start going into, man. All right, you have a lot of people that's already mad with a lot of different things. People are already on edge with one another. You had the Jake versus Esau, all right, scenario that was going on a couple years ago, where Jake and Esau was really at each other's throats, just over what Esau had been doing to unarmed Jakes for a long time, man. They was out there protesting over those things. All right, then you had the elections with your boy Trump, T-Dog, and Sleepy Joe out there. All right, you got people that are how do I say? You had this one dude got fired for not delivering packages to anybody who shows support for Biden Harris and things like that. You got people doing all kind of crazy shit just over for who these people identify with politically, all right, and things like that, man. So you have these people, you had the Proud Boys and their big ass little rolling protests and they big ass pickup trucks and things like that, man. All right, you had the January 6th riot / protest at the Capitol building and things like that, man. All right, now you have this here scenario going down with people losing their jobs and things like that, and these requirements and these mandates. People are out there marching over these things, man. All right, but like I said, this is the etching away of the foundation of a lot of this whole infrastructure. And once all these things start collapsing, all right, these people are about to start going ham at each other, man. All right, because we'll read it down a little further, but nevertheless, you're disrupting people's livelihoods, man. All right. And people, had in their minds, we know this is the end. All right. We're not trying to be here for longevity, but these people are saying, hey, man, y'all took away my quote unquote college experience. Y'all took away my job experience, my retirement experience, my buying my first house experience, my getting married and having kids experience, all because of these different things going on, man. You had a lot of people, not to say a lot of people, but you have some people, let's say, for instance, that wanted to move to New York to go try out for Broadway or something like that. Just making an example. All right. But now they can't go do all those things because, not to say things are shut down, but they have, requirements and things like that, man. All right. So people are going to feel like you want to taking their lives away from them. And it's going to cause these people to be in an uproar. All right. It's, they got that saying, when people don't have anything left to lose, they lose everything. They lose it. All right. And just pretty much go ape shit on everybody, man. Continuing on, it says, there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes in the course of their actions or stand in their power. And right now, what you're starting to see is basically a peaceful resistance against these governments right now, with the people are protesting. Yeah, it's getting a little violent out there, the clashes and the things like that going on back and forth, but really it's peaceful at this point in time, man. All right, until the police are shooting at folks in some places with rubber bullets and spraying them and stuff like that. But like I said, it's still basically peaceful out there right now. You don't got these people, right? The protesters out there coming out there with guns and stuff and attacking stuff. The most quote unquote closest thing to violence that you've seen was what the January 6th situation, in which that wasn't even really violent at all either, man. It's just a bunch of rowdy Edomites out there just, bombarding some shit. But, and yeah, it was quote unquote violent, but it wasn't to the point to where it's going to get at, man. All right. Let me keep reading. It says, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. All right. Hey, and you also have these things going on. All right. Because, you have with these shortages of a lot of things, because again, the breaking down of the foundations of a lot of things with this whole mandates in the backdrop, you know what I'm saying, is disrupting a lot of different things, man. You're going to have people that's going to be trying to leave and go across borders for certain things. Like, let's say New York has these mandates that's going on right now, man. All right. But then if some of these people can, like, you can get to, like, some people live in New Jersey and work in New York, or vice versa. They can get to some places pretty quickly, just cross the border, across the line to go get some work or whatever. They're going to be trying to go into these places for work, grocery shopping, and go into the stores where they can, where these mandates aren't. All right. But nevertheless, it's going to start putting a toll onto these spots as well too, man. All right. So just like, you have some of these people that are saying, oh no, we don't have shortages in our area. We don't have these shortages in our area right now. But nevertheless, you have these other places that do have shortages, and they're posting it up. What do you think these people going to wind up doing? Just flocking over to your spot to come taking all of your shit, man. All right. It says, verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, like I was just going into, for the lack of resources. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of a lack of bread and for great tribulation. Hey, when you really got the squeeze on these people out there like that, man, all right, this is going to put these people into desperate positions, and out of desperate, they're going to be acting off of desperation, man, feeding their family and things like that, man. So, hey, man, they like, y'all already took my livelihood and things like that. A lot of these people that have been doctors and firefighters, they said that that's their calling, and that's pretty much all they know. That's what they train for, and put all their eggs into that basket to do that until retirement. You think that these firefighters and things like that are going to want to go and go bag groceries somewhere, go do something else somewhere else like that, man? All right, no, it's not really going to work out like that. These people are pretty much going to start picking up arms and fighting for their survival, man. All right, ultimately what it's going to all boil down to, because, like the scriptures say in Revelation chapter 13, all right, about how, he calls it all. All right, once this is, man, New York is just, one of the first places to do this, but this is going to go all over the place, man. All right, and it's going to really push, the majority of these Americans to the edge, to where it's just going to be an all-out battle royale. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.